Chase that J. Chase that J. Yeah. Cash accumulate over days and chase that check. Chase that check. This money. Chase the check. I try to let the money work for me and chase the check. Cash accumulate over days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Chase that check. I gotta get that money. I gotta chase that check. But you ain't got no space, and you ain't chase no check. Then you ain't get no money, then you ain't got no tech. And I can bleed it, and I can trust it, and I can bleed what I wanna do, I want it. And I can bleed what I wanna do, I love it. They hating on me in public, I love it. But I be chasing money, and I be chasing honeys, and that's my fucking problem. I'm a fucking dummy, but I'm a curse one, and that's one day, honey. And you gon' get that one day when I'm done chasing money. Then cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check over days. Chase that check. Yeah, chase that check. I had a moment of silence, cause I be chasing that check. And this shit so crazy, I don't even stress. Yeah, the bitch left, but they ain't the first time she left. It's like a boomerang, she come bouncing back, just like on the dick. Yeah, she do a spin, yeah, she do those spins. Yeah, she spit on that tin, yeah. But I'ma stay on point, I gotta get that money. Just like my joints, they spread out, and I flop my wings. If I was a bird, I'd be a wing. Yeah, you get it? Yeah, that's first class shit. First class, you don't even know what I'm talking about. Bitch, I'm the pilot lit. I'm the pilot lit. Business owner. I represent. I'm from the fold. Everybody throw up that shit. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Stock Market Live with LCAOD. And let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's go ahead and get started. Haven't been live in a while, you guys. This is the first time we're going live here in a while. But like I said in the previous videos here, we're gonna try to go live every once a month, every other month. Who knows? The scheduling has changed far as the company, and that's just kind of why we randomly get to go cover the stock market live with you guys, so y'all can understand everything and get everything the way you should. But before we go any further, I want you guys to know the description here. This is live stock coverage from the stock and crypto market. These are live ideas of thought and studies. This is not financial advice on this stream or with this company. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. The market is open right now. It has been open for a couple hours. We're getting close to the European market close at 11:30 a.m. And as of right now, Apple is the leading indicator overall here, man. They're sitting at all-time highs right now. If you zoom out, look at the all-time chart here. Yeah, Apple is sitting at all-time highs right now, man. So that's really good for Apple right now currently. And Netflix is up, you guys, right now. Just looking at who's up and who's not here right now with this big move here that's going on taking place. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be more action here. Apple, it's all really about Apple right now. All eyes on Apple. They got a event coming up here in like 1 hour at 12 o'clock. So we're going to be looking at that event closely to see, if it's moving the market or if it's moving Apple overall to where they need to go here to the upside. So it looks like the target still is 190 on Apple, you guys. That's the goal. And as of right now, looking at the data from the recap, it does look like it's on pace to get there. So the next level to break is this level where it's currently at. So just looking at that very closely. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a sell the news event. Because we here at LCAOD, we've seen this happen before. It's either going to be a buy the news event or sell the news event. And I think what's going on, I think Apple is waiting on something far as their virtual headset. And since we're live, we can show you. Since I'm live, we can show you real quick what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Got the link. Give me 1 second. But yeah, like I said, right now the market is open, you guys, and it's mixed right now. You got the Dow Jones down, the S&P 500 up, the Nasdaq is up, Russell 2000 is down, the VIX is up. So it's a mixed market right now. The market's playing that kangaroo game with you. So just stay patient, stay humble. But yeah, the headset though with Apple is apparently about to be released. So this could be rumors or it could be the real thing. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about here. This is the headset right here that everybody's focused on here at the Apple event that's about to take place at 12 o'clock, and we're gonna be showing that live. Like I said, this is the stock market live here with LCAOD, and we're live the remainder of the day. But yeah, this is what's going on. Apple is apparently about to release this headset here, and this could really send the stock price super bullish higher than what you see right now. So just keep that in mind. This headset looks cool, man. It looks like this is the future, man. It's here now. It looks like we're going to be all wearing these, walking around in them in public. So it looks like a phone, but it looks like just a shade. It looks like shades. It looks like sunglasses for real, but it's in the form of sunglasses. But it looks definitely. You can tell that first. This top part here of the screen is an Apple phone. Really, it looks like but it looks like I said it's a virtual reality headset. So the event already started at 10 a.m. But they're going to be live streaming the event in about 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 28 seconds. So that's what we're waiting on right now. Currently here, while the market is open, we're waiting on that to see if that's going to take place. And if they're going to really present that, or is that just a rumor and they're not going to be able to present it now, and we're gonna have to wait till later. So that's what we're looking at closely on Apple. Like I said, Apple is at an all-time high, so that's breaking news. That's really big. Far as the overall market. So that's just what it is. That was the description there. Um, but yeah, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. This is the Stock Market Live with LCAOD. And like I said, the European market is approaching its close here in about 15 minutes. And at that point, the United States will be in full control. And we're going to see which direction the United States is trying to really take this market right now. Things are either going to flip here. It looks like the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000 is still being the lagger here overall, even though they just made a huge, tremendous pop to the upside last week. That momentum did not continue for the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000 as of right now. Currently, the Dow Jones have gave back 119 points, and the Russell 2000 have gave back at least 26, 27 points. So right now, like I said, it has the market mixed, but other than that, S&P 500 rises to fresh 9-month high, led by Apple. So that is currently going on. We're still bullish overall. It's just a little mixed right now. I think people trying to figure out what's next. What can we do next to everybody can eat. So that's what we're looking at right now, you guys. And like I said, the overall market is open right now. So just waiting on European close. SPY picking up right here at 428. You see that candle right there, 428.70. So it looks like the SPY is really trying to get to that 430 level still. That's the goal for them. we're watching out for that closely to see if they're going to tag that goal. But yeah, that's just pretty much what it is. Yep. That is pretty much what it is, you guys. So this is it right here. This is the stock market live with LCAOD. Let's see. Let's check and see if we got any live briefings or coverage right now. Anything going on with the market? So far, the market did take the data. The ISM PSMI data came out. The data really seems bullish, but the market kind of brushed it off as of right now. So we're just kind of still waiting. It looks like the Apple event is going to really take the market to where it wants to go. And it looks like, the rest of the data, the remainder of the week, possibly move the market as well. So we do have ISM services PMI data that came out, factory orders, all that data is already out. So now the next data to be looking at as far as economic data is trade balance on Wednesday and consumer credit on Wednesday. So it looks like tomorrow there's nothing really going on. So you got to understand, really hardly any news, and we don't have any Fed speakers all week. The market can really rally from here at this point, even though it has already been rallying. It doesn't mean it has to stop. So keep that in mind. The rally can continue. At this point, it was just time for a pullback, and it was time for consolidation because the market has really been going up the past 2 to 3 weeks. So you got to think about that as well. All that's taking place right now. But like I said, stocks on the move right now. I am seeing AMD up here about $1. Apple's up $3. Biogen's up $2. Booking, holding, they're up about 25. Chipotle's up about 6. Stocks on the move here. We're just looking at stocks on the move right now. Mixed market overall. Meta's up. Meta's in the green now. Lulu's down. Lulu is down $8. You got Netflix up. Netflix is up $11. Nike's down. Nvidia is only down about 60 cents. So just be on a watch for Nvidia to break through and turn green. It looks like the whole big tech may possibly be green except Nvidia. So keep your eye out on them for being a laggard, and they can turn into a leader here and really push the market higher on Nvidia. Looks like there was a discount on Nvidia early this morning and no flush, so they're shooting back up. Let's see here. Snowflake, they're up $5. Stocks on the move here. Spotify's up about $5. T-Mobile's up about $1 here, 50 cents. You got Tesla up. Tesla's up almost $5. So yeah, the market is on the move right now, man. While it's being open, as you can see, we're just kind of chilling out here in this channel, in this range. The market is basically, like I said, credit spreading right now, consolidating for the next breakout. Triple Qs is looking bullish. We are at that level where if this breaks, this thing is going to turn huge here. The Triple Qs is at 356, you guys. 79. Remember on the recap, I was telling you if it breaks that level, the next level of resistance is until about 358 to 360, possibly 366 is their target. So Triple Qs go up here. Expect all the stocks in the NASDAQ here to really pick up here. The NASDAQ is really your leading indicator so far in the overall market, up about 60 points, up 46% right now. So keep that in mind as well. And it looks like it's getting higher. So NASDAQ is still looking strong. That's really good for the NASDAQ. Right here where the market is at right now, it must push higher here, or this could be the top, considering looking at the charts here all day. And what it has presented the first 2 hours. Now, it's still early, obviously, so things can change. But as of right now, this could be your top in the market right now, you guys. Or at this point, obviously, it's just going to push higher. So just be on the lookout for that here. The European market is closing in about, 11, 10 minutes. So we're going to take a quick bathroom break. I'm going to see if I can find some briefings for y'all. This is the Stock Market Live with LCAOD. I'll be right back.
Just that check, just that check, just that check, just that check. Yeah, cash accumulate every day is just a check. I try to let this money, just a check. I try to let the money work for me and just a check. Cash accumulate over days. Let cash accumulate over days. And just a check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And just a check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And just a check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. It chase that check for days. Chase that check. I gotta get that money. I gotta chase that check. But if you ain't got no spend, and you ain't chase no check, then you ain't get no money, then you ain't got no tech. And I can bleed it, and I can trust it, and I can bleed what I wanna do, I want it, and I can bleed what I wanna do, I love it. They hating on me in public, I love it. But I be chasing money, and I be chasing honeys, and that's my fucking problem. I'm a fucking dummy, but I'm a crash one, and that's one day, honey. And you gon' get that one day when I'm done chasing money. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days, and chase that check over days. Chase that check. Yeah, chase that check. I had a moment of silence, cause I be chasing that check. And this shit so crazy, I don't even stress. Yeah, the bitch left, but that ain't the first time she left. It's like a boomerang, she come bouncing back, just like on the day. Yeah, she do a spin, yeah, she do those spins. Yeah, she spit on that tail, yeah. But I'ma stay on point, I gotta get that money. Just like my joints, they spread out, and I flop my wings. If I was a bird, I'd be a wing. Yeah, you get it? Yeah, that's first class shit. First class, you don't even know what I'm talking about. Bitch, I'm the pilot lit. I'm the pilot lit. Business owner. I represent. I'm from the fold. Everybody throw up that shit. Let cash accumulate over days. Chase that check for days.
Join large-scale battles.
Over days. Chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days. Let cash accumulate over days. And chase that check for days.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here from the quick little break here. It's 11:23 a.m. The stock market is open. This is the stock market live coverage here with LCAOD. And like I said before here, if you're just now tuning in, or you check this out here on the recap, whenever, or you watch it later, it's 11:23 a.m. We're expecting the European market to close here at 11:30 a.m. The United States is going to be in full control. The triple Qs are sitting right here at that breakout point. All they got to do is go above 356, and the market will turn bullish, stronger than what you see now. 428 on the spot. They just need to pop above to that level of 430. Then you'll see the market really pick up at that point. And really, honestly, the volatility, the VIX, if you can continue to see, it's slightly green right now, but it's actually flipping here. If the VIX turn red, it'll really pick up. And if you get the Russell 2000 and the Dow Jones to reverse, it'll really pick up. It doesn't look like the Dow Jones may reverse today, possibly due to they're already down 135 points. So maybe tomorrow. We don't know. We'll see by the end of the day. Breaking news, though, SEC sues Binance and CEO Changpeng Zheng Ho for U.S. securities violations. Uh-oh. So somebody got sued here for some security violations. That's not good. We're looking at the SPY right now. Big green candle there. It's a nice little pop right there to the upside. Triple Q's breaking out almost above 356, you guys. Almost fully out of the clear there. See that candle picking up there. NVIDIA right here is still peaking right here. NVIDIA's peaking there. They're going from red to green, green to red right now. They're playing games, but best believe the NASDAQ pick up, they're going to go straight green. So just keep that in mind, be on the watch out for NVIDIA. And that's just what we're looking at here overall. We're still looking at the stocks that we picked here for the week. We're looking at Caterpillar and Apple and Google. So Looks like Caterpillar hit that downside target that LCAOD expected there. 222 is below it now, so Caterpillar pulled back from 227. Now they're at 222. So the recap was actually right now currently, and you're just waiting to see if it's going to hold like that by the end of the day. So it could be your bottom right here. Caterpillar, it could pop back up because the Bears kind of already got what they expected here, but it could start flushing here to back to 220. Remember I said watch out for that level. Next low level would be about 215 to possibly 212 on Caterpillar. That's still actionable right now. Currently, and remember the Bears got that. They got that win right there so far under the belt. Apple, all-time highs, right here peaking for a breakout. Remember, they just need to get, they're right here actually where they already needed to get. Now we're just waiting for, I guess, the event to try to strive it higher. I think, like I said, 190 is the target for Apple. But once you break through this level, the next level of resistance will be in here between 188 and 185. So we're looking at that closely to see if they're going to get there first, but their target is 190 still on Apple, so we're looking at that very closely. They are trending up here. Google is about to hit their weekly target at 128 almost. They're at 127.12, so they want to get to 128. They're really almost about there. They went from 123 to possibly, well, they went to 127 right now, so up about $4 from this morning. They want to get to 128 though, so keep that in mind. They're about $1 away. Google's looking very bullish and looking strong at Google, man. Looking strong, looking strong, looking strong. Let's see. I did want to. Let's see if I can rewind this. Let's see what she was talking about right here. YouTube been acting funny all morning for real. Excuse me. All right, so whatever. We're just not gonna go on it then. We'll just click on. Let's see. Just live. So sorry, you guys. I'm trying to find some news that pertains to the market and a briefing or something, and possibly interview or whatever. To see if there's anything's going on, but I don't see anything right now. YouTube is kind of low and slow. I do apologize. Let's see. I don't know if this is live. I don't hear it. So it says a hearing on the weaponization of the federal government. I don't know if this is live. And if it is live, this could be moving the market for real until the Apple event. Obviously, this is really big. FBI whistleblower hearing news live. FBI whistleblowers testify before House Weaponization Committee. So I think this may be real right now, and this is not a recap. So it does look like this is real right now. It looks like they have been live for 5 hours. I'm just trying to make sure it's really live right now. So 5 hours ago, how long ago was that? This may have already been presented. I don't know if this is actually live right now. There's no way they've been talking for 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? That 5 hours ago was literally like 5, 6 in the morning. It couldn't be. So this might be a replay of something. I don't think this is live right now. I don't think so. So yeah, like I said, I don't see any briefings. I don't see anything going on. Let's see what Yahoo Finance is talking about. They usually talk about just market coverage all day. SPY big pop right there. Triple Q's right there at that level. They're about to break above. And European market is closed, you guys. It's 11:30 a.m. The European market is officially closed. The United States is fully in charge. So here we go. Here's what we've been waiting on here. We got about 30 minutes left until the Apple event. But yeah, everything's pushing higher. Triple Q's just broke it, you guys. 357.06. So expect the market to start picking up here. Google's on the high right now. Nvidia's on the high right now. Apple's on the high right now. Expect everything to start pushing higher right here if the triple Qs breaks above this 357 level and actually holds it. It's a key level right here. It's a level hasn't been broken in about 2 weeks. So it's a key level right here. The SPY just hit 429. It looks like they're about to go straight to 430. So it's looking bullish right now. The market's actually picking up on the green side. Looking good, looking good, looking good. SPY picking up, triple Q's picking up. YouTube's still slow. So don't know what's going on with that, man. Yeah, YouTube is really very slow right now. Nothing is loading, as you can see. Everything's just circling. I have no idea why it's doing that. Market picking up right here. Nvidia popping. Nvidia back in the green right now. Excuse me. So yeah, Apple stock rises to new all-time high ahead of WWDC 23. And market's picking up here. So it looks like we're about to get a little bit of consolidation. It's chilling at the tops right here. YouTube still acting slow. YouTube still acting slow, ain't it? Wow. Okay, YouTube, you gonna do that? I don't know what's going on with YouTube right now. I really don't. I really don't. SPY picking up here. 429 is holding right now. 357 is looking like it's holding at the triple Qs, you guys. Market is picking up here. Nvidia's pushing higher here. It looks like they're trying to hold that green now. So it's getting the market flip. Remember I told you Nvidia was a lagger here. They've been kind of mixed all day. Now they're back here at the highs. They could hold the green for the remainder of the day now. Keep that in mind. So we're looking at triple Qs is really looking bullish above 356 now. So that's another sign that the market is bullish right now, you guys. 429 on the SPY. That just needs to hold and push to 430. Then you'll really see a pick up here, the whole overall market. 394 on Nvidia. Nvidia's picking up now. Nvidia on the high. Google on the high. Caterpillar on the low still. Little small pop. Apple on the high. Remember that event is coming up in about 27 minutes. We're gonna review that event live. Apple might really be coming out with this headset, man. It'll be really awesome if they do. If they can pull this off and pull out the headset, it's gonna be really awesome. Let's see here. So we're getting a little bit of consolidation at the top. Remember, the European market just closed 4 minutes ago. The United States is in control right now, so they're probably just trying to figure out, if they want to push the market higher or channel back in to where the Euro market had it pretty much all morning. So we're looking at right now closely. SPY coming down here from the top. Apple a little cheek lay. Triple Qs as well. Nvidia a little pullback as well. Small pullback. Couple red candles at the top. Still chilling at the top though right now. Consolidating. It's fighting. IWM is down, you guys. They did sell off. They sold off back to that 178 level that you should have expected, and I said on the recap. So the IWM is down. You got the Russell 2000 down for that. That's why. Right here, DIA is down as well. They pulled back to that 336 level as I expected. So that's why you see the Dow Jones down as well, too. Now, triple Qs, like I said, is up here just extremely bullish. They're actually coming down now. As you can see, a little bit of selling, a little bit of cheek lay. It looks like 357 isn't going to hold, which would not be a good sign. And will be still remaining bearish because on the triple Qs, just because, 356 has been a level that they haven't broke. They can't break it. They're channeling back into it right now as we speak. So just looking at that level here close to you guys, that's a key level that they should be able to break by now. There's still no break. Not looking good, but it's a little pullback right now. It's a little bit bearish right here at the top. Bears kind of stepping in, putting the wall up. We'll see for how long, though. Also, profit taking is going on, too. Keep that in mind. We'll see for how long, though. So everybody's just pulling back right now. At the same time, NVIDIA coming back down here. NVIDIA coming back down here. 392. So they just lost $2 right there. NVIDIA's back red. So NVIDIA is actually kangaroo today. They're witching. They're witching bad. They're going from red to green, frustrating people. So just keep in mind, where they're trying to get to, where they're going. Obviously where they're at right now. Just stay calm with that. SPY coming back down. Triple Q's coming back down here. Just a little pullback. 428.68 on the SPY. 356.84 on the triple Q. So yeah, it looks like that 357 level has got rejected here on the triple Qs. 429 looks like it got rejected as well. And this is technically your on the SPY. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That counts 7, 8. This is your 8th time trying to push higher here on the SPY. So it's going on number 9 right now. This is important here. Same thing for the triple Qs as well. They tried to push higher about 8 times today so far. It's only 11:37 a.m. Let's see if YouTube is fixed now. Okay, YouTube is working, you guys. So let's tune in right here with some Yahoo Finance investors and see what they're talking about. Well, YouTube was working. It just froze up again on me. So, okay, it's working now. So YouTube is acting weird still, you guys. I apologize. Not in my control, obviously. But let's look right here and see what they're talking about. The market is technically mixed. The Dow's down 35%. The S&P 500 is up 17%. The NASDAQ is up about 46%. So mixed market so far. Let's see what they're going to say here.
Mainland China is back above where we were pre-pandemic, despite the fact that international airlift is only about 40% of what it was prior to the pandemic.
And what are you seeing in terms of business travel?
Business travel is kind of the tortoise in the tortoise and hare, slow and steady recovery, but you almost have to look at it in 2 categories. Small and medium-sized businesses are long since recovered.
Big part of your business, right?
It is about 60% of our business transient. That is long since recovered to pre-pandemic levels. The big multinationals continue to recover steadily, but they're not quite back.
What about China?
China, mainland China has fully recovered.
What about China? What about China? What is China doing? China. So yeah, as you can see, YouTube still tripping a little bit. So try to find a video that's not actually tripping. That's what I'm trying to do for y'all. And I'm really trying to confirm and see if that briefing is real or not. I don't think it is, though. Like I said, I don't think that's live. There's no way it could be live. It was too many people on it early. As far as, too many hours on it, early. It was like, that video's been up for 5 hours. There's no way they've been talking that long. SPY's picking up here at the top, though. A little reverse back to the upside. 357 back to the upside on the triple Qs. So yeah, no briefings at all. No briefings, no live briefing, no news. And you gotta expect that this week, considering there is no Fed speaker. So there's really nothing to really be concerned about in the market right now. The market is kind of like free game right now, free for all. So just kind of watch the levels, pay attention to the charts and numbers, obviously. That's going to tell you your next direction. As of right now, I can tell you this thing is still overall bullish. We're not selling off at all. It's just chilling out. Excuse me. Right here, trying to see if I can find something live for y'all. Nothing live yet. So SPY right here, 428. As I said, right here, that was your top. That was one top again, another top at the beginning. That wick to 430. So yeah, you're gonna need that 430 fill here now because this wicking candle was very important this morning to show that that they're actually gonna do that. So that's just kind of what the SPY is expecting. They need to just fill that upside level now, and really make a decision on what they want to do next. Right here, it's chilling out at the high end. Right here, you see it's consolidating on this upper VWAP line right here, this green line. So that's actually good right now for the Bulls. You just want to see that hold. Really, it can hold the rest of the day. It'll be good for the Bulls. Same for the triple Qs, man. 357. If it holds above 356, that could be real good for the Bulls. Obviously, that'll consolidate to the breakout that you're going to see next, which was that 366 level. It's coming soon, you guys. Like I said, I mean, that's their target. That's what they want to do. It's coming. You gotta be patient, play it out. But right now, it's just chilling right here at the highs. The overall market is, since the European market closed, it looks like the United States is going to keep the bullish momentum, though, so far. So it seems like it's only been about 12 minutes, so you give it about another 10 minutes, you don't really know what's going to happen today. IWM. So IWM is popping back up here, you guys. They're back at 180, which is good for them as well because it took them a long time to even put 180 on the board. So if they can just stay here and consolidate, it's pretty good for the IWM for real. Looking further. Excuse me. Same thing for the triple Q. DIA. Same thing for the Dow Jones. They can hold this 336 level and channel back up to 337. They're good. They're still looking like they're going to hit that 340 target. Nothing to be panicking about right now. VIX is actually still going down. The volatility is still going down. Not lower than it was Friday. It did gap up here, as you see. But we are kind of back right here, heading back towards that level of Friday. So just to see if the VIX gonna keep coming down this way, or is it about to push back up that way? That's what we're looking out for closely. And obviously, if it keeps coming down, you'll see the whole market turn green again. If the VIX kind of push back to where it gapped up at right here, you probably see some more selling pressure step in. Looking at it closely, looking at everything closely right now, man. It's taking our time with it. It's only Monday as well, too. Very early here. Got another 4 days left in the market. This is the first day back for a 5-day week. So think about all that, too. Old Caterpillar, though, they definitely right here stuck. It looks like that 220 level is your next level to watch out for. If it flushes below, the next level is 215. But if you don't see any more low right here, it means this line is support. Expect to pop back to this way, 223, 227. The target still is 230. So looking at that closely here. Apple is sitting right here, all-time highs. The event is about to start in 15 minutes. About to have that pulled up. So they're just chilling out. It looks like 15 minutes is going to determine. That event is going to determine a lot for Apple today, you guys. I think that headset thing is like very important. Like if they have it, I think the stock increases. If they don't have it, I think investors get mad and it pulls back a little bit. So we're just looking at it from both perspectives. Obviously, Google's sitting right here, still at the highs. Their target is 128. Remember, they're only $1 away from their target. So Google's actually looking strong today, looking like a leader. Nvidia is chilling out right here. So the video chilling out right here, but at the high. So now you're just looking at the video to see if they're going to channel back in here to the low end again, or is that finally done? Because you done did that all morning, and obviously you wasn't flushing. So I mean, you had a lot of buyers. So the next level is to really push back to the upside on the video, you guys. their target by the end of the week is 400 for sure. Now Nvidia, remember, they were at 419. So if Nvidia want to continue to show that they're bullish and they got the bag, they're going to have to push to that 400 level, and they know that. They know that. They can't keep selling off back below 390 and 380. You can't just keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Those levels have basically already been fulfilled. So you're looking at the next level on the video, like I said, is obviously at this current moment, your downside level has already been touched here, considering all morning here. It looks like 388 is your new low on the video. Now, obviously looking by the end of the day to see if it's going to retest 389, 388. I mean, I think if it does, you may see a flush on the video more tomorrow. But if this holds right here, then the video is about to push to their target, which is between 397 and 400. So we're looking out for that closely too as well in the video right now. 429 is back on the SPY, so that's good. It's actually holding, you guys. It's consolidating at the high end. QQQ is 357. It's consolidating at the high end. That's really good. These are signs of bullish momentum picking up. The Dow Jones is picked up here right back at 337. That's really good. IWM is holding at 180 level. That's really bullish. That's really good. The VIX is sliding more down to the downside, which is making the market go up higher right now. That's really good. Caterpillar bouncing off the lows, so it looks like the bottom might be in at Caterpillar. That's really good. And Apple still chilling out, cruising at the top. So we're going to take a quick little break here before we go over anything else. And before we pull up the Apple event, it starts at 12 o'clock. So we're going to go take a quick little bathroom
Women
break.
that I was doing this in the
And we'll be right back. Excuse me.
All right. Go Smith. Still alive. I'm on my grind. Nigga, you lying. Nigga, you lying.
Oh yeah, oh boy, this shit bang.
I'm on my grind. Pussy overpower, nigga, you lying. It's money overpower, I'm on my grind. Pushing packs all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind. Pussy overpower, nigga, you lying. It's money overpower, I'm on my grind. Pushing packs all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind. I'm really at the paper, I'm on the money mission. I'm really at the paper, I gotta get it, nigga. I'm chasing all these checks for my family, nigga. I'm chasing all these racks, I need some Benjis, nigga. I'm grinding for that back and gotta keep some Zaza packs in. I got a couple 20s, but I need 100 Jackson. I got a couple fronted cause these pussy niggas taxing. I got a couple 100 rounds if you think I'm lacking. I'm on my grind, I'm on my grind. Ain't no need in asking. I want it all, niggas line, that's why I keep it I'm blessed. On my grind. Pussy overpower, nigga, you lying. It's money over power, I'm on my grind. Pushing packs all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind. Pussy over power, nigga, you lying. It's money over power, I'm on my grind. Pushing packs all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind, trying to stay away from sales and doing time. Niggas always lying on my line. If I was blood, I would put that shit on shine. I got a son, so you know that made me shine. I got the bread, so you know I hold the line. You niggas tell it, I'm starting to think it's 69. Kick flip, push, I'm on my grind. I got a bad bitch with me, so you know I wine and dine. I'd rather have a premium contract than a prime, like Amazon. I'm on my grind. I stack and flip like a boss, more like a dime. Yeah, I'm the one, like LeBron, the chosen one. Pussy overpower, nigga, you lying. It's money over power, I'm on my grind. Pushing packs all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind. Pussy over power, nigga, you lying. It's money over power, I'm on my grind. Pushing packs all the time. I'm on my grind. I'm on my grind. Oh boy, you ain't dumb on this one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from the break. As you can see, YouTube is still tripping, man. They need to get it together before this Apple event start, though. For real. I don't know what YouTube got going on today on this live stream. They really tweaking out. I ain't never seen it buffer this much. I don't know what the issue is, but YouTube, y'all tripping. Stocks on the move, though, man. Microsoft on the high. About to hit that 340 level. Microsoft. MongoDB, they got continuation from last week's earnings. They're up $15. Stocks on the move. So they got continuation. Wow, nothing is loading. What the hell? Safari can't open this. You can't open that. It can't do this. Wait, what the hell? I don't even. I was about to say, what is wrong with this computer? So everything chilling out at the high end right now, you guys. Okay, so it looks like Apple just posted this. They're actually live in 65 minutes. The event starts at 1 p.m. now. So the event starts at 1 p.m. now, you guys. We just seen that it's not starting in 5 minutes now. The event starts basically in another hour. So you got a whole another hour until this event start. The market probably just going to consolidate until that event start, it looks like. Breaking news, Mike Pence files paperwork to launch 2024 Republican presidential campaign. Mixed market right now. The Dow's still down about 24%. Still seeing the S&P 500 up about 26%. Still seeing the NASDAQ down about 50. Oh, no, excuse me. The NASDAQ's up. Excuse me. I'm sorry. 53%. And the Russell 2000 is down about 1.19%. VIX is still up, you guys. The VIX is still up. It's a low up, but they're up. So that's why you're not really seeing the market move. to that VIX to really find a direction. But that's breaking news though with Mike Pence right there. That's key right there. That's big. That's key to the market a little bit. And yeah, we got the event coming up, like I said, at the Apple WWDC 2023 event is about to kick off at 1 p.m. today, you guys. So this is going to be huge. Remember, like I said, they're supposed to be presenting us that AI virtual reality headset through Apple. They have created one. So if they don't present that, remember, like I said, investors may not be happy about that because it's high expectations about that to be presented to the overall world. So we're looking at that closely to see if that even happens or not. But obviously, Apple has a lot more products than just that virtual reality headset that they're about to present to us. So we're looking at everything and seeing how the market is going to react towards it, obviously. But market's mixed up right now. We got a mixed market. There's no bull or bear. This is a kangaroo market as of right now. Things are mixed. You see some names red, some names green. Things are mixed up right now. That's just what it is. But overall, the SPY and the triple Qs is showing bullish continuation still. The SPY's at 429.13 right now, currently about to touch that 430 level possibly. And the triple Qs is holding it above 356 still, at 357.20 right now. So that's really good for them. If they can continue to hold that, like I said, and push higher, you'll start to see things pick up. A lot of names that are red and mixed, they'll actually start to turn green. So just look at that closely right now. I think the market is waiting for the next breakthrough overall. But this event, like I said, starts WWDC 2023. The Apple event kicks off at 1 p.m. It's live in 62 minutes. Other than that, we'll keep that screen pulled up just like that because we know that's pretty much what's going on. And let me see here. Let's check on some stocks on the move. Excuse me. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Stock Market Live with LCAOD. If you're just now tuning in, hit that like and subscribe button. We're waiting on the Apple event to start. Once that starts, the market is going to move at a higher velocity. So we're waiting on that event to kick off and take place, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see which way the market is headed. Right now, a little pullback, SPY flushing here at the top, 428.83. Triple Q is not looking like it can hold this up here in the air, you guys. 356 is crumbling slowly but surely. 356.90 is starting to pull back here. The VIX is actually going up a little bit, up 1.78%. The NASDAQ and S&P 500 are basically your leading sectors here. The Russell 2000 is your lagger, and the Dow Jones is your lagger. So that's what's going on. Half and half market. Start zooming around. So it's right here. We're right here just chilling at the top right now, man. Oh, man. We're just going to see where this thing takes us. Apple event, 60 minutes. We'll put up another one, YouTube page. So, yeah. That's what it is, man, right now. Very chill day for real so far. So far, so good. So far, so great. It's going to be an amazing week if this market can continue to go higher, man, climb higher. It will be an amazing week by the end of the week.
Tough issues that our country is facing. Does this mandate make sense? That's the role of Face the Nation, to focus on the issues at hand. That means a civil, contextualized conversation with
All right, it's 12 p.m. officially Wall Street lunch break, so expect the market to really digest and chill from here till 1 o'clock. You got Wall Street investors, you got Wall Street gurus, you got the New York Stock Exchange. All those people right there are about to take lunch between this hour and the next. So between 12 and 1 p.m., expect the market not to really do too much or just chill out or find a direction for, at 1 p.m. when they do come back from lunch and then the Apple event starts. Then see where things take place and where we'll be at after 1 p.m. So be looking out at these levels very closely. So far so good. The market's bullish, is half and half though right now, still mixed. Things got to pick up for it to get full bull mode. Other than that, man, we're gonna take a lunch break right here, right now, between this time and the next hour. We're going to take a little lunch break between this time and the next hour. We're going to leave everything up, though, here. We'll leave the charts and numbers up here so y'all can all see it and view it. And we'll be back right when the Apple event starts. We'll be back live here and, we'll see where things takes us, see where things goes. Now, crypto is selling off right now. Bitcoin is down about $1,200. Bitcoin is going down here. Coinbase is selling off, too. It's causing them to go down, too, in the market. Ethereum is going down as well. So big red candle right here at the top, right here on the spot, triple Qs, everything coming back down right now. Nvidia is selling off a little bit at the top right here. So that's just what it is, you guys. So like I said, man, Wall Street lunch break between now and 1 p.m. LCAOD, we'll be back at 1 p.m. We'll have the Apple event ready to present live right here on the live stream, and you'll see everything how we see it. So we'll be back at 1 p.m., you guys. In the meantime, between time, stay patient, hold it down. We'll be right back.
Organized by Senator Joni Ernst. It's the largest event yet for 2024 candidates and hopefuls, but notably missing former President Trump.
Our Finn Gomez, political director, is in Washington now with more on all of this. Okay, let's start with this piece of breaking news, Finn.
Right.
What do we know about Pence filing? I was just looking at the document that you were sharing.
Yeah, exactly. So Pence has officially thrown his hat into the ring with his filing with the FEC. As mentioned, he's formally going to launch his bid for the White House with a campaign video and a kickoff rally in Des Moines, Iowa on Wednesday, which incidentally is also his 64th birthday. But today he makes his candidacy official with this filing with the Federal Election Commission. And while his former running mate, Donald Trump, is currently leading the early fight for the nomination, for the Republican nomination, with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis consistently in the second place. Pence advisors that I've spoken to say that there's a lane for a traditional conservative who represents many of the previous administration's policies that are popular with the MAGA base, but without the Trump baggage, if you will. He also has strong ties, they say, his advisors say, with the evangelical vote, an important block of caucus voters there in that early state of Iowa, where he spent, as you mentioned, spent time at the Joni Ernst's roast and ride. He was the only one of the contenders to be on that bike, an image that his advisors were very proud of, very important for that potential Republican voter there in Iowa. About 1,000 people showed up to that cattle call. But also another important point to note, Tony and Lilia, Pence was also recently cleared of any wrongdoing related to the handling of classified documents. That happened just a few days ago. But that's something, a looming investigation that Donald Trump, his former running mate, is still facing.
Finn, I'm glad you made reference to the motorcycle footage we have there. The former vice president, he was on the hog. He looked steady. He looked comfortable. I don't know how he did on the roasting side of things. We also have, I want to move on to Chris Christie, who is expected to get into the race, since you already touched on the roast and ride stuff, later this week. He is a former fan of President Donald Trump, turned enemy of former President Donald Trump. And I think most of us expect it to be an exciting entry into the race. What more do we know?
Yeah, he's expected to jump into the race tomorrow night in New Hampshire. A big part of his strategy will be the Granite State, where there's a big percentage of independent voters, that vote in that Republican primary. But yes, he has been a vocal critic. He was a former political ally of Donald Trump, but now he's been the most vocal critic. He's expected to be that vocal critic still. So there's been so much of a tepid criticism, if you will, overall from the rest of the field. There was some contrast over the weekend with Trump's congratulatory posting of Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader. That was really one of the few times where you saw multiple members of that emerging Republican field voice criticism towards Trump. But Christie, the former New Jersey governor, has been a longtime critic now since that early stage where he was a political ally, and we will expect to see that more after he enters into the field.
Yeah, he knows how to throw noun against verb as well. He'll be saying some things, and it's going to be interesting. Finn Gomez, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
The U.S. Navy released new footage today of a U.S. destroyer's close call with a Chinese warship in the Taiwan Strait. That was on Saturday. The video shows the Chinese ship sharply cutting across the path of the destroyer, forcing it to abruptly slow down to avoid a collision. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin called the incident extremely dangerous. He addressed the incident earlier during his trip to India. Take a listen.
This all matters because we face a rapidly changing world. We see bullying and coercion from the People's Republic of China, Russian aggression against Ukraine that seeks to redraw borders by force and threatens national sovereignty, as well as transnational challenges such as terrorism and climate change.
This weekend's close encounter in the Taiwan Strait follows a similar incident in the air last week when a Chinese fighter jet pulled a similar maneuver in front of an American reconnaissance plane over the South China Sea.
Sources tell CBS News that FBI Director Christopher Wray is meeting with the leaders of the House Oversight Committee on Capitol Hill today.
Yeah, and during the meeting, he's going to allow Committee Chairman James Comer and Ranking Member Jamie Raskin to review a previously subpoenaed document. The document in question is said to focus on an alleged bribery scheme involving Joe Biden during his time as vice president. House Republicans want to know if the allegations were ever investigated by the FBI as they weigh contempt of Congress charges against the Bureau's director.
CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge joins us now here in studio. Catherine, what is at the heart of this meeting? What are these lawmakers trying to find out?
Well, Lilia, this document is known as an FD 1023. This is an FBI interview summary for confidential human sources, so individuals that they have an existing relationship, not a walk-in. And the question for Republicans is whether the FBI adequately investigated this allegation and if they found it to be substantiated in any way or whether they found it to be unreliable.
Are there concessions or statements of acknowledgement that the director could make in order to avoid this contempt hearing or charge that could follow?
Well, Tony, Director Wray has indicated, and I know this through my reporting over 2 decades in this area, that confidential human sources are among the most closely guarded by the FBI. Director Wray has made clear that he's concerned about compromising sources and methods and putting individuals at risk. But in order to try and accommodate the committee, Director Wray is taking the unusual step of going to Capitol Hill today with this document to allow them to review it in person in a secure facility and give them a briefing. But it's not clear at all whether this may be sufficient for the Republican chairman of that committee.
All right, we shall see. Yeah, 20 years of experience on this beat. Catherine Herridge, thank you very much.
Welcome.
That is the sound there, if you could hear it, of a sonic boom in and around Washington, D.C. and Virginia yesterday.
U.S. officials say the explosive sound was caused by military jets scrambling to intercept an unresponsive small plane at hypersonic levels. The aircraft reportedly crashed into mountainous terrain in Virginia after following what officials called the, quote, strange flight path. No survivors were found. The National Transportation Safety Board and Federal Aviation Administration are jointly investigating the incident.
For more, let's bring in CBS News Chief National Affairs and Justice Correspondent Jeff Begays, who has made his way to the location of this crash. Jeff, what's the latest on that scene there, and what details do we know, what remains unknown about who was on the plane, who owned the plane, you name it?
Well, first, we're as close as we can get to the crash scene and still do this live shot because cell service there is really spotty. And then you have to hike to get to the scene, which of course is sealed off by law enforcement. But that's the kind of terrain that the NTSB is having to navigate as it looks into this crash. And we just learned that the NTSB, its lead investigator, is here and has said that they expect to be here on scene for the next 3 to 4 days, which is really standard for the NTSB as it investigates crashes like this. And the primary goal is to recover pieces of the plane that can give them a better sense of, first, why the pilot was unresponsive, the people on board unresponsive, but also why the plane yesterday took the path that it took, ending up here. And one way they can do that is finding the plane's black box, which, of course, if you've listened to reporting about plane crashes before, these planes, most of them, have black boxes, especially the commercial jets. Now, this one, it was not required to have a black box, but what the NTSB is hoping is that it had a black box that was installed at some point. There's no guarantee that it has one, but they're going to be looking for that today, as well as some of the other pieces of the plane that could point to the avionics and why the pilot and the plane behaved as it did in its final moments.
Jeff, just from your reporting, it's so sad and remarkable to hear about what possibly happened. But talk to us about how rare is an incident of the nature in which the military jets are deployed at hypersonic levels to stop a plane from flying over in the U.S.?
Well, it is something that law enforcement and the military is trained to do. When you're talking about restricted airspace over DC, there's a reason for that. Obviously, you have Capitol Hill, you have the White House, you have the Pentagon. And of course, in the wake of 9/11, efforts were made to reinforce the procedures in terms of scrambling fighter jets. And so while it does happen, it doesn't happen a lot. And that's why you had a lot of people yesterday who were looking around trying to figure out what that boom was. And frankly, I was one of them. So it happens, but it is rare that it happens. And so on a day like today, after something like that, there are a lot of questions about whether it worked effectively, and obviously it'll take some days to get to the bottom of that. But what you cannot lose sight of is the fact that there was a family on this plane. There was a woman and a child and a nanny and the pilot. And so you have this family grieving right now, or these families grieving, while the NTSB conducts this investigation.
Yeah, that does underscore it for us, Jeff. Indeed. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Well, you may have felt it if you were sitting where I was yesterday, freezing with wind. We are expecting cooler days this week after last week's tease of a summer.
Meteorologist Alex Wallace from our partners at the Weather Channel has the forecast. Hello, Alex.
Well, good day to you, Tony and Lilia. Starting off our early week here, and boy, I tell you, starting off on a pretty coolish note for portions of the Northeast. Look at what we've got for the day. Temperatures that'll be well below average. In some cases, 10 to even 20 degrees below average. We've got this upper low that's kind of hanging just offshore, and that's just keeping things kind of gray and a little showery at times. Also a little breezy, so cool and breezy. Pretty raw times anticipated here for us across New England. You could see winds gusting anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. The Bangor area up towards Caribou having to deal with that. Not as windy as you work your way south and westbound, but again, on the cooler side out there with some showers occasionally. That's continuing at least through our Wednesday morning. So early to midweek, keeping things on the cool side here into the Northeast. Meanwhile, how about we work our way westbound? And this is a zone where it has been very unsettled, it seems like, for the last several weeks. That's not changing here for us. This is going through Friday. So we got another week to deal with this. More scattered showers as well as thunderstorms, each of these developing essentially every afternoon. We'll see these thunderstorms get going, downpours, and there could lead to some localized flash flooding. So that's another risk that we'll have to face along with some of these thunderstorms. Of course, remember, you can watch the Weather Channel on cable and now live on your favorite TV streaming device. We will send it back to you.
We considered ourselves warned. Alex Wallace, thank you so much.
All right, Representative George Santos is in still more legal trouble. Up next, a look at the upcoming deadline that the embattled Republican congressman is facing.
Plus, a new report says the so-called Great Resignation is now over. What it means for the nation's workforce moving forward. You're streaming CBS News.
If it's important to our nation,
I wonder how you think about where America is at this moment.
it's on Face the Nation.
Can there be stability if Vladimir Putin remains in power?
Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan on CBS.
America Decides, taking you inside American democracy.
The most important stories on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis.
You're going to hear a lot of reporting.
It is clearly a pivotal moment.
Gun control, the economy, education. Both sides of the political aisle fight it out for power.
Bringing you the analysis that you need.
Thoughtfully, with context.
Be part of the conversation.
On CBS News streaming.
Welcome to America Decides.
An original documentary from CBS reports.
I always tell people that Twitter would not be Twitter without Black Twitter. It's just us being in fellowship with each other.
And it becomes a conversation you don't want to be left out of.
People really started to recognize the power of activism on Twitter.
Based on that one tweet, the hashtag #OscarSoWhite was trending around the world.
If anything has really powered Black Twitter, it's been humor.
If your food ain't right, we're going to tell you about that too.
We tend to create change, create culture and cool.
That's how movements happen on Black Twitter and go beyond more than that.
Black Twitter, the Twitterverse that changed a generation. Now streaming on the free CBS News app.
When weather turns extreme,
The threat of severe weather and dangerous tornadoes is expected to last.
CBS News and the Weather Channel bring you virtual weather technology so advanced, so real.
Let's bring in our partners at the Weather Channel.
Now 6 feet of water, imagine that. Cars that can act like battery lamps.
These hyper-realistic simulations show you what the weather will look and feel like before it happens.
Feel the forecast, streaming on CBS News. An original documentary from CBS reports.
The carnage in our nation's schools has become painfully repetitive.
Not one more child!
School shootings have parents fighting mad.
I promised my daughter I was going to fight. It's going to keep on happening.
And teachers taking lessons in how to fight back.
This is an exercise.
We approach it as it's you or them.
It shouldn't have to be your teacher's job to protect your life.
But will the battle over gun control,
People are afraid that they're going to lose their gun rights altogether.
be the hardest lesson of all?
The exercise, you're having to shoot at an adult. Are you prepared to have to kill one of your students?
Guns in the Classroom, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Everybody wakes up in the morning and they are pelted with alerts that frighten them, news that agitates them. With this show, we have the time to explain what's going on. Here's a deeper understanding of what's happening.
Prime Time with John Dickerson. Stream on the free CBS News app.
Well, the wreckage has been cleared and the trains are running again in India following the country's deadliest rail crash in over 2 decades. 275 people at least killed, more than 1,000 others injured in this collision that happened on Friday.
Officials believe a signaling failures would cause the passenger train to change tracks and crash into a freight train. Several cars derailed. India's prime minister is focusing on modernizing the country's colonial-era railroad network. About 22 million people are set to ride the system every single day. And House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is lauding the debt ceiling deal that he negotiated with President Biden and others to avert a potentially catastrophic default that we're out of it.
Yeah, the president signed that bill into law over the weekend. McCarthy had touted the bill on Sunday as, quote, the largest cut in American history, close quote. He also responded to criticism that the legislation has faced after more Democrats than Republicans, he's a Republican, voted for it in both the House and in the Senate.
I heard you earlier say, yeah, but more Democrats voted for it. Let's just put this in perspective. When Republicans only had the House and the Democrats had the White House, on average, only 24% of Republicans voted for it. This was at 67%, 3 times as much. Democrats will vote for debt ceilings, Republicans will not. But we hit a 2/3 mark. The thing you want to look at is which Democrats voted against this. AOC, Bernie Sanders, the progressives.
165 Democrats in the House and 45 in the Senate voted for the debt ceiling deal. 2 Democratic-leaning independents in the Senate also backed it. In comparison, 149 Republicans in the House and a mere 17 in the Senate voted for the deal. To break this all down, joining us now, the CBS News congressional correspondent, Scott MacFarlane. So, Scott, we kind of heard a bit of an explanation there from McCarthy, but as we mentioned, more Democrats in both chambers voted for it. Does his explanation cut it, or is there more to it?
He's going to take some grief for that number, Lilia and Tony, and to a degree he already was over the weekend. I asked Kevin McCarthy as the vote was about to play out if this was a victory or if this was a compromise, and he was unbridled when he said this is a victory for any number of reasons. But for members of the House Freedom Caucus, they say they are deeply concerned more Democrats voted yes than voted Republican, and they said they had assurances that wouldn't happen. Over the weekend, we heard from 2 of them, one on TV, one on social media, Ken Buck of Colorado and Andy Biggs of Arizona, both articulating new criticisms, particularly strong criticisms of Kevin McCarthy. But as this week begins here in Washington, these House Freedom Caucus members find themselves in the same position they were in the first week of January when they tried to deny Kevin McCarthy the speakership. They have any number of concerns and any number of criticisms, but they have 0 alternative candidates to try to make the next Speaker of the House. If they tried to oust Kevin McCarthy, they don't have something to replace Kevin McCarthy with, which makes that not a tenable or realistic move or vote anytime in this coming week or in these coming months.
Yeah, I hear you, Scott. And when it comes to Kevin McCarthy and Joe Biden, for that matter, explaining the debt ceiling bill, they say different things to different audiences. I mean, they're pretty openly speaking this way to this wing of the party and that way to that wing of the party. When it comes to McCarthy, though, as you just mentioned, he does face this interesting challenge, which is if he doesn't keep everybody happy with him, if just one person gets angry enough or upset or frustrated enough, they could call a recall vote at any time. He could get a call right now as I'm speaking. It doesn't sound like you think that's going to happen because Republicans don't have that alternative you're talking about, but walk me through the ins and outs of this.
Such a unique dynamic, Tony. There's this narrow 4-seat majority down to 3-seat majority for Republicans in the U.S. House, the most narrow of margins. So already Kevin McCarthy has to do his best to dance and corral this group to get even small level things passed in the U.S. House, things that aren't supercharged politically. But add to this that any one member of his Republican conference can call a vote to oust him. Imagine being a teacher or a restaurant manager, and the students or the customers or the staff can vote to knock you out any day they want to. It makes managing and governing a bit difficult, but he still has this safety net, which is that there's nobody else who's jockeying for the position notoriously or publicly, or seems to be able to galvanize the Republicans to go in his or her direction, which gives Kevin McCarthy some insurance.
And his experience so far does not seem to make it very desirable for anyone to step up. But I want to shift gears a bit, Scott. Let's talk about George Santos. A federal judge has ordered him to respond to court motions regarding his $500,000 bond by 5 p.m. today. What more can you tell us about this?
A group of media organizations wants the court to unseal a document, Lilia, that shows who helped post the $500,000 bond George Santos posted to remain a free man after he was charged by the feds in New York. He has till the end of the day today to respond. If those names are released, we can get some insight as to who is helping to support George Santos as he faces 13 federal charges.
Could be very interesting. Scott McFarland. Scott, thank you very much.
Chris Sununu has confirmed that he is not planning to run for president, unlike everybody else.
You don't often see this. He made the declaration amidst of an interview on CNN, and it follows comments last week from the New Hampshire governor. He's very popular there. He said he was still making a decision, weighing his options on whether or not to join the GOP primary contenders. He told us last month that he would reach a decision by the end of June. He now has, and that decision is no.
Russia says it has pushed back a large offensive in eastern Ukraine yesterday.
However, Ukrainian officials have dismissed that claim, and both sides say the Ukrainians have advanced in other parts all along the front line there. There's new fighting reported as well around the city of Bakhmut, and the commander of Ukraine's ground forces says their troops were moving forward on that city. To another story now, Prince Harry failed to appear in court today for the first day of his trial against a British tabloid publisher.
So Prince Harry is expected to be the first royal ever to testify in a phone hacking tabloid case, and the first royal in a very long time to testify, period. Harry was still en route from Los Angeles, where he'd spent Sunday celebrating his daughter's birthday. The judge did not like it, expressed displeasure about the Duke of Sussex's absence. Harry is one of many people suing the owner of the Daily Mirror. He accuses the British tabloid of hacking his phone and illegally gathering information about him in order to publish stories. The newspaper denies its senior executives were even aware of the hacking. As the U.S. winds down from last week's National Spelling Bee, France held a language event of its own in Paris on Sunday.
All right, bookworms from across the country, they gathered on the famous, I'm not French, so I can't even begin to say this. Can you say this? You're more cultured than me.
Champs-Élysées. I'm not French either, but you can say that.
Yeah, but I'm American, okay? So I can't say anything other than these words right now that you're hearing. I am an uncultured American. What? Can you say it again?
Champs-Élysées.
Very nice. That's what I usually rely on Anthony Mason for all French, or Vlad for all French pronunciations, but I can barely speak English. All right, here we go. More than 50,000 people, you see them on your screen now, they applied to participate in the event, and more than 5,000 of those were chosen. 3 separate rounds. Competitors ranged in ages from 10 to 90, and they dictated French classics, contemporary literature, also sports-themed pieces. Yes, me, please, for those.
See, there I would lose.
Me too, honestly.
A close call between, this is what we're about to get into next. The close call between an American vessel and a Chinese Navy ship. What the U.S. military is saying about this unsafe interaction in the Taiwan Strait.
And the Directors Guild of America has reached a deal. It's tentative with major Hollywood studios. The writers, however, they are still on strike. More details ahead. What are you doing?
You're streaming CBS News.
There we go.
An original documentary from CBS reports controversial Congressman George Santos.
Why won't you answer our questions?
How did he manage to get elected?
Thank you very much. God bless you and God bless the USA.
George Santos' campaign was a campaign of deceit, lies, fabrication.
And who is he, really?
I knew him as Anthony DeVolder from Queens.
Really, who he is a fraud.
I compare him to the Tinder swindler.
From people who know him, the truth, the facts, the lies.
He would say that he was worth $100 million.
It's an incredibly cynical episode in American politics, beyond satire.
Had you ever seen anything like this?
No, I hope I never see it again.
Campaign of Deceit, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
She dazzled on the court and off the court as a businesswoman.
Thank you for joining us on Person to Person. Tennis superstar and entrepreneur, Serena Williams.
an original CBS Reports documentary.
I asked my students, what are we going to do about racism in the United States?
The backlash over teaching about racism in American schools.
I don't think it has any place in the classroom.
We can either pretend and say, no, we're not racist and we're all great people, or we can actually start to do the really, really hard work of addressing it.
How did you lose your job? I made the statement that white privilege is a fact.
Is it helping diversity and inclusion?
When you bring in different people's stories and experience, it enriches education.
If you don't talk about something, it doesn't go away.
Or driving us further apart?
What schools are doing to our children in the name of anti-racism is in fact teaching them racism.
The intention is to put us in this war against each other.
An original CBS Reports documentary, streaming now. An original CBS Reports documentary.
I was entitled to equal pay for equal work under the law.
Does the Supreme Court's power need to be checked?
9 Supreme Court justices, 5 of them said no, she's not entitled. That's not right.
Calls to fix the court tend to go along with the politics of the moment.
Republican appointed justices have all tended to go in one direction, with the Democratic appointed justices tending to go in another.
Even though it's only 9 justices, it takes 5 of them to make the law of the land.
Does it have political impact? True. Political intent? Probably not true.
If the American people don't trust the judgments of their court, that's a real problem for our democracy.
An original CBS Reports documentary, streaming now.
On our places, bright shiny faces.
When you wake up in the morning, we want to be your go-to team.
I don't go to work in the morning. I go for coffee with my 2 good friends, and we talk about the world.
Welcome back to CBS News. I'm Lilia Luciano.
And I'm Tony Coppola. Here is a quick recap of some of the top stories that we are following. Federal investigators are getting a first look at the scene of a fatal plane crash after U.S. fighter jets attempted to intercept an unresponsive pilot, sending a sonic boom echoing across parts of Virginia. The jets were ordered into the air after controllers received no response from this plane, a private plane which had reversed course and was heading toward, in fact, flew over Washington, D.C. 4 victims found in the wreckage in Virginia.
A failed signal system is being blamed for the horrific train crash that killed nearly 300 people in India. Officials say a passenger train was wrongly cleared to change tracks, putting it on a collision course straight into a freight train. Train traffic through the region was restored earlier today.
And the Pentagon has released video of what it calls another unsafe, that's their word, maneuver by the Chinese military. Officials say they're in surveillance plane over the South China Sea. For more on that, let's bring in CBS News intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gazis. Olivia, thank you very much for joining us. I feel like the world's great superpowers are 10-year-olds circling each other on bikes at the end of the block. What is going on here? What's behind these near misses?
That is quite the metaphor, Tony. Yes, well, I mean, this near miss at sea that you saw the video of occurred in what the U.S. says are international waters, where it routinely runs these kinds of joint exercises, in no small part to remind the Chinese of the U.S. position that this territory does not, in fact, belong to Beijing. Similarly, in the near miss of the video that we saw in the air, that was a U.S. surveillance aircraft that the Chinese never like having in its space, essentially, but which, again, the U.S. does all the time and in what it maintains international airspace. Rest assured, the U.S. would not be releasing videos of these incidents if it didn't firmly believe that it was in the right and that doing so would exert pressure on the Chinese, portraying them as the aggressors or the 10-year-old bullies in this scenario, if you want to think of it that way. Mm-hmm. The problem is that this is not a play yard dispute. These, in these interactions, it takes a fraction of a second or of an inch before you have a catastrophic collision that leads to a major diplomatic crisis. And there's precedent for that. There was a spy plane collision in 2001 that took weeks of nail-biting diplomacy to resolve, and that's the very scenario that officials are seeking to avoid here.
Well, Olivia, I mean, this is happening as President Biden had been speaking about some form of a thawing in the relationship between U.S. and China. It doesn't sound like it, but has it materialized?
Sure, right. Well, the president made those remarks at the G7 in late May, following what we know now was a series of high-level official interactions between the U.S. and China. We didn't hear about them at the time, but they came after months of silence and stalemate that followed that shoot-down of the Chinese surveillance balloon in February. And then there was suddenly the spate of meetings at various levels in May. We heard about the National Security Advisor meeting with a top official in Vienna, the U.S. ambassador meeting with his counterpart in China. We recently learned the CIA director was also dispatched to Beijing for a secret meeting with his counterparts. And of course, we also saw footage of the defense secretary having this very brief handshake with his counterpart in Singapore. All of these interactions, as big or small as they are important because they are, as officials here put it, laddering up to ever more senior interactions, which should presumably culminate in the Secretary of State finally getting a trip to Beijing back on the books, and presumably after that, a presidential level interaction. But even with those signs of progress, these meetings, there are the very obvious signs of friction in the airs and the seas, and both sides are going to tell you that today we are not there yet. We're not at that level for the most senior level interaction yet.
And Olivia, if you could, as a parting comment here, and going back to the big picture, where presumably China is thinking strategically and approving these maneuvers by its military with some goal in mind. What is that goal? What does it want out of its engagement with the U.S.?
Sure. I mean, the interesting thing is that officials here have told us in private that at least some of these meetings have been the result of Chinese outreach to the U.S. You wouldn't think that given how sharp the rhetoric has been and, again, how these near misses have affected things. But under the surface, there does appear to be desire on both sides to keep the relationship stable and predictable and overall healthier than it has been.
Right. Great summary, Olivia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, former President Donald Trump's lawyers arrived at the Justice Department earlier today. They had requested a meeting with federal law enforcement officials, and several sources with knowledge of the investigation into the former president's handling of classified documents say that a charging decision is coming soon. We are following that story. We will bring you more information if and when we get it.
3 bodies have been recovered from the Davenport, Iowa building that partially collapsed last week.
One body found on Saturday, another on Sunday, and the final body recovered today, Monday. A section of that 6-story building collapsed, injuring several other people. We've also learned that a person who was injured is now suing the city, the building's owners, and its former owners as well, all for good measure. The suit alleges that they knew about the issues with the building and did not warn the people who lived there.
It's really scary. Moving on to some positive news, if you ask me. The NBA Finals are officially tied 1-1.
The Miami Heat evened up the series after sealing a fourth-quarter comeback victory in Denver on Sunday night. Miami fought back to overcome a double-digit deficit in that fourth and final quarter, and they went on to beat the Nuggets by a score of 111-108. First Nuggets loss at home in many, many games. Game 3 now will be held in Miami on Wednesday. John Pastner is the former head coach of the Georgia Tech men's basketball team, and he joins us now to talk about all this. I really thought the Nuggets were going to sweep.
Everybody did.
They were all rested. The Heat had to grind it out against the Celtics. So this is a big win for the Heat. What does it mean for them to have that victory? The series is tied, and now they're going back home to Miami to try to go up.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And I tell you, it was a great game last night. It looked like Denver was in control until the fourth quarter when Miami started hitting a bunch of threes. And you look at the stat line of Miami's three-point made. They shot about 48% from their three-point line. And that obviously has changed the game. I mean, you see there, Duncan Robinson had a big fourth quarter with a bunch of threes. And, a lot of the talk was about Denver and the altitude and was that going to affect Miami? I think there was an adjustment in game 1 where Miami maybe struggled a little bit. But game 2, in that second half, they hit big shot after big shot. They did some different things defensively. They went to zone that really kind of slowed Denver down, especially in their ball screen actions, and a lot of credit to Miami. But this is the NBA Finals. Anything can happen. It's not the NCAA tournament where all you got to do is win one game. It's the NBA Finals where it's 4 games. So a lot can happen. They're going back to Miami. A lot of adjustments can be made from Denver. but you got to give Miami credit. I mean, they are just a scrappy team, and they play like that throughout the entire playoffs.
Scrappy's the way to go, and it's got a very excited fan base in Miami, a very fun city. So with all that confidence and all that credit that you're giving them, what do you expect will happen in the next game at home for Miami?
Well, look, when you're going back to home and you're in the NBA Finals, that's part of the reason is trying to take advantage of home court. Now, obviously, Denver has the advantage of having one extra game. They will if they go to a 7-game series. So Miami right now has the advantage, and what they've got to do is protect home court. And a lot of it's going to come down to shooting. And because look at last night, Jokic had 41 points for the Nuggets, one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, and they still lost. So how will Denver guard the three-point line better? What will they do against Miami's zone defense? And how does Miami try to capitalize in this game 3? Because if they win this game, in this game 3, you really got to put a lot of the momentum and I would say the advantage to Miami moving forward. This is a pivotal game for both teams. Winner has all momentum moving forward in the series.
All right, Josh. You know who I'll be rooting for. Thank you.
She's a Miami girl, Josh.
That's okay. I get Miami's really good. You got to give them credit. They've done a heck of a job. They're scrappy. They can play. They got great players. They're tough. They're hard-nosed. They've been a fun team to watch. They really have.
Look, I do have a very soft spot for Denver, but go Heat.
All right. Well, you're invited back, Josh. Thank you very much. You may have noticed coming up in just a moment that there's a little less turnover at your place of business.
That's right. New data shows more workers are choosing to stay put and not take off. Ahead, a look at why the Great Resignation may be over. You're streaming CBS News.
It's a history-making meeting. 4 extraordinary women who are all 4-star generals and admirals. How did you deal with being discriminated against?
I just worked harder.
The future of an ever-evolving U.S. military when we go person to person.
Everybody wakes up in the morning and they are pelted with alerts that frighten them, news that agitates them. With this show, we have the time to explain what's going on. These migrants, they've been released. Explain the status that allows them to be released, to slow things down a little bit. What are the big sets of questions for China and its ambitions? Hackers are stepping up their attacks to extort victims. Let's start with easy. Who's attacking? Here's a deeper understanding of what's happening.
Prime Time with John Dickerson. Stream on the free CBS News app.
Stories that inform. You can be really old at 60, and you can be really young at 85.
Inspire. How do we unlock the power within ourselves to be who we want to be?
And brighten your day.
The best part of fame is making people feel good. Always send the people home happy.
Make every day a little more like Sunday morning.
Here comes the sun.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
An original documentary from CBS Reports.
He started out as a fun-loving party boy, but the alcohol got the better of him. What I envisioned was him being in some sort of medical facility. I just thought, what a great candidate for them to learn about the results of alcoholism and what it does to a body. But his body was sold to the military, specifically used as a crash test dummy in a simulated Humvee explosion. I was devastated. I had the box. I don't know if they were his ashes or not. I just held it as tight as I could, and I just told him how sorry I was.
Body Brokers, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Hey there, welcome to The Uplift.
I look over at him and he's smiling.
I'm going to remember that the rest of my life.
It's really a miracle that he's with us today.
The Uplift, stream now on the free CBS News app.
America Decides, taking you inside American democracy.
The most important stories on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis.
You're going to hear a lot of reporting.
It is clearly a pivotal moment.
Gun control, the economy, education. Both sides of the political aisle fight it out for power.
Bringing you the analysis that you need.
Thoughtfully, with context.
Be part of the conversation.
On CBS News streaming.
Welcome to America Decides, Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Got some new numbers from the Labor Department showing that the Great Resignation, remember that big wave of people quitting? Well, apparently that wave has crested and crashed. It's over.
Well, the number of people quitting their jobs is down to near pre-pandemic levels. The resignation rate fell to 2.4% in April. At the height of the Great Resignation, that number was 3%, with a roughly 4.5 million people quitting their jobs in just 1 month. Courtney Brown joins us now here in the studio. She's an economics reporter for Axios. So good to see you. We were talking behind the scenes a little bit about, our observations of all of this, but tell us, what does this mean for the labor market?
So why do economists care about how many people are quitting? Well, it's a sign of confidence in the labor market. A lot of turnover in the labor market means that employees are like, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I could get a better job, maybe a higher paying job. That was happening at a level we had never seen before this time last year. And that's cooled off quite a bit. And so economists take that as a sign as workers are less confident now that there are better, higher paying opportunities out there. So they're staying put for longer periods of time.
So that makes it sound like this is not a sign that the economy is doing well, but in fact, a lack of confidence in the economy.
That's right. This is one of the signs that economists are pointing to, that this labor market is not as hot as it was this time last year. And there are implications for what that means for the Federal Reserve. There are implications for what that means for the labor market writ large. So definitely something to watch.
One of the things that comes to mind, as we talk about this, is the amount of headlines that we report on constantly of layoffs, mass layoffs in so many different companies. Does that play a role just in terms of that confidence that you can find something better?
Definitely depends on what sector you're working in. If you are a worker who works in the technology sector, that sector has seen a lot of pain over the past few months. But there are other sectors that are still really booming. Leisure and hospitality, for instance, wages are still rising relatively quickly in that sector, a sign that there's more demand for those types of workers than there are supply of them. It's one of the few sectors, actually, that has not returned to its pre-pandemic level of staffing.
I believe the numbers were during COVID that when people were switching jobs, they were very often able to command a higher salary at the new job. Is that still the case, or are people making lateral or even, downward and south moves?
Some of the economists I speak to talk about that phenomenon as something they'd never ever seen in the course of their
the upward lateral move.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
How quickly pay was rising for workers who decided to switch their job switchers as we call them. They have commanded almost twice the rate of pay gains as people who decided to stay put in the past year. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
Have really never seen anything like this in the history of the U.S. labor market, really. But that's slowed down a bit. Their pay gains are still outpacing job stayers, but it's slowed quite a bit.
Since you're an economics reporter, and since we have time, I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe you have no answer at all. How come when you poll Americans, they overall say that they're satisfied with their own finances? That's been pretty flat, right? Like 75% of Americans. But when you ask them how the overall economy is doing, they have very low confidence. So it's like they're happy with themselves mostly, but not happy with the country.
Tony, you're touching on something that I talk about with my sources all the time. It's a puzzle. The economy, by many measures, is doing better than it has been doing for years. The unemployment rate ticked up a little bit in Friday's jobs report, 3.7% from 3.4%, but that's still really low. For the most part, if you want a job, you can go get one. So that comes back to your question. Why are Americans so unhappy? Well, inflation's kind of nasty. That might explain it. Inflation, prices are rising at a pace that I haven't seen in my lifetime. Many people haven't seen in their lifetimes. So that may explain it. There's also some partisan stuff going on there.
Yeah.
They don't like the president, maybe. They feel the economy's in the dump. And then there's all those headlines about layoffs that you mentioned. Layoffs are happening and they're beginning to pick up a little. But broadly speaking, layoffs are relatively low. So all in all, the labor market is less hot than this time last year, but still doing pretty well.
I want people to think happy thoughts about the overall economy. No recession.
Well, it's more hopeful. If you were watching Face the Nation yesterday, we're thinking the recession is not going to be as profound. But if you ask a lot of people in my generation, housing is extremely expensive, and there's that crisis of unaffordability. Anyway, we can keep talking about this all day. Courtney Brown, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Still to come, no picket lines needed for Hollywood directors.
We'll tell you about the lightning fast deal made to avoid a strike for directors and what effect it may have on the writers who are still walked out. You're streaming CBS News.
People from every corner of America facing challenges.
Everyone is just looking for some type of connection.
Just raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to help.
Coming together to find solutions.
We are going to do something about it.
Their stories are our stories.
Welcome to Eye on America.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions. We look at a story and we say, how do we make it relevant to people's lives? So this is what we eat to live longer. Finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your family.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Morning news matters because it sets the tone for your day, and it's a way of getting you started.
We take you places, teach you new things, and we make you feel like, it's not all bad. We're going to uplift you.
People say to me, you always seem to be having a good time. And you know what? You're right.
Your morning routine just got better. CBS Mornings.
An original documentary from CBS Reports.
You had a substitute teacher that was pretty popular. What was his reputation?
Everyone loved him.
You had to miss a test. What did he offer to have you make up the test?
He said that I can come by after school was all over and just take the exam. The blinds were down. He closed the door. The next thing I knew, he was right next to me. That's when I realized what was going to happen. Even if I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, no one would hear me because no one was there. He told me that if I ever said anything to anyone, he would kill me and he would kill my family. So I did it.
Pledge of Silence, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
She was near the finish line of the Boston Marathon when a terrorist bomb changed everything. Join us for an extraordinary story of survival, persistence, and triumph when we go person to person.
When weather is about to get extreme.
We're talking about hail, we're talking about tornadoes, damaging wind.
Every second counts.
Let's now take a look at what that really means to you.
That's why CBS News and the Weather Channel have come together to bring you virtual weather technology so advanced, so real.
We can show you what it's going to look like when the storms come through.
You'll see what will happen, where it will happen, before it does. Feel the forecast on CBS News. Time to get prepared.
We're really excited that we've been honored with the Emmy Award for Outstanding Live News Program. But we know we couldn't have done that without you. So thank you. CBS Mornings, weekdays at 7 on CBS.
We go to stories because we can bring someone to that story. That human connection is incredibly important. The news doesn't have to be depressing.
What do you love about running? Energy!
It can be uplifting.
The Directors Guild of America, not the writers, and Hollywood studios have reached a tentative 3-year agreement.
The Guild's National Board will vote tomorrow on whether to finalize the deal. It's a 3-year deal. It includes increases in wages, increases in benefits, and streaming residuals, and it scales back the amount of hours an assistant director can work in one day. Good news for assistant directors. It also promises that directors cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence. AI Spielberg. This comes as the Writers Guild, the other side of the coin here, continues its strike at studios all across the country. The current Directors Guild contract, by the way, had been set to expire and is set to expire now at the end of the month.
We want to bring in Dominic Patton. He's a senior editor at Deadline Hollywood, probably incredibly busy these days with so much news. Dominic, so tell us, how was the Directors Guild able to reach a tentative agreement so quickly, given that we're still holding our breaths for the WGA?
Well, look, I think there's always a lot of behind-the-scenes machinations to these kind of things, guys. But I think one of the things that was clear is the Directors Guilds and the studios, after the WGA called a strike on May 2nd, they had an impetus to try to find a fix here. The studios clearly did not want to see a second Hollywood union go out on the picket lines. And of course, they've got the actors unions negotiations starting in just a couple of days, and they have a strike authorization vote that we'll probably know the results of later today or early tomorrow. So you could have a triple threat, so to speak. So I think the studios, which have commonly first made a deal with the DGA in these contract negotiations, as I've been covering them over the past decade or so, I think they've moved forward on some pretty core stuff. And this is the reality. Nothing says I love you like cold hard cash. And there are some serious wage increases here, over 12% over 3 years. And of course, these residuals like you guys talked about, and many more. So we don't quite know all the details because that will be revealed after that board meeting that you guys mentioned earlier. But I think from what we've seen so far, the directors feel like they got a pretty sweet payout.
You know, Dominic, you're right. Nothing says I love you like cold, hard cash. So the question becomes, what kind of an embrace, what kind of a hug, what kind of an I love you are the writers going to get? Will this deal with directors set the parameters potentially for what the writers can get?
Well, that's kind of what happened in 2007, 2008 with the last writers' strike, which was basically hobbled when the directors made a deal with the studios, and after 100 days, the scribes went back to work. This year's a little different, but as always in labor negotiations, Hollywood or anywhere else, if you're dealing with similar unions in a similar industry, you have what's called pattern bargaining. And certainly you can't ignore the fact that now the studios have set a standard of essentially saying, well, we'll give you more money. Of course, as always, the devils are in the details, and we'll find out what that really means and how that money gets paid out. But this does put some pressure on the Writers Guild in terms of these topics, because there's a lot of topics that the Writers Guild and the Directors Guild don't have in common. Money, of course, as we all have in common, is one of them. So it's going to make them have to reassess how they're going to handle this. As of yet, the studios and their representatives have not sat down with the Writers Guild, or the writers say they are willing to sit down since the May 2nd strike was called. They're about to go into negotiations with the Actors Guild, who also have their contract expiring on June 30th, like the Directors Guild. So there's a little bit of a pipeline happening here that might turn into a little bit of a let's just say, a multi-guild pileup.
A multi-guild pileup means a lot of work and a lot of bylines for Dominic Patton. Dominic, thank you very much. Reporting is terrific. We appreciate having you on.
Thank you.
Coming up in our next hour, the field for the GOP nomination is about to get even more crowded. We will take a look at what the Pence and Christie candidacies could mean for their fellow Republicans.
Plus, attorneys for former President Donald Trump meet with top federal officials at the Justice Department today. Our Robert Costa joins us to break down what we know about this visit.
And opening statements in Prince Harry's phone hacking lawsuit started, and they started without him. He had a family obligation that made him a no-show. Judge was not happy. You're streaming CBS News.
If it's important to our nation,
I wonder how you think about where America is at this moment.
it's on Face the Nation.
Can there be stability if Vladimir Putin remains in power?
Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan on CBS.
Ready? A generation of kids opens up on CBS Reports.
I just want to be like a regular kid.
Their world, their struggles, their voices.
What if I was white?
A lot of people like to call names and make you feel ashamed for being proud of who you are.
Technology is baked into the DNA of our generation.
Now streaming Chasing Fame.
I like being famous. I would love for my career to launch.
Is the hunt for social media popularity an opportunity?
To get verified is one of my big goals. If I get the blue check mark, it would open a lot of doors.
Or an obsession?
I spend a lot of time looking in the mirror because I want to look perfect.
Are the kids all right? Chasing Fame. Now streaming on the free CBS News app.
I'm here.
Hiring new stewards out. They're doing wellness checks when people are trapped inside their homes.
How's the pay?
A lot better.
That's you and the queen.
That's beautiful.
An original documentary from CBS reports tensions rising between a powerful country and a vital island.
The supply of this technology came grinding to a halt. The world would grind to a halt. Absolutely.
As Taiwan faces threats and aggression,
Taiwan is on the front line, and we understand our responsibility as a democracy. We cannot fall.
CBS News examines whether they can defend themselves.
Putin, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, they are manifestations of the battle between autocracy and democracy. And that is a fight that we're all engaged in.
Defending Taiwan, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Stories that inform.
You can be really old at 60, and you can be really young at 85.
Inspire.
How do we unlock the power within ourselves to be who we want to be?
And brighten your day.
The best part of fame is making people feel good. Always send the people home happy.
Make every day a little more like Sunday morning.
Here comes the sun.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
People from every corner of America facing challenges.
Everyone is just looking for some type of connection.
Just raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to help.
Coming together to find solutions.
We are going to do something about it.
Their stories are our stories.
Welcome to Eye on America.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
When it comes to the money you spend every day, we have you covered.
Everyone is just looking for some type of connection.
Just raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to help.
Coming together to find solutions.
We are going to do something about it.
Their stories are our stories.
Welcome to Eye on America.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
Former President Donald Trump's lawyers visited the Justice Department earlier today.
This is coming weeks after they requested a meeting with top federal law enforcement officials. The lawyers left the Justice Department shortly after noon Eastern Time, roughly 2 hours after they arrived.
We're back,
Attorney
ladies and
General Merrick
gentlemen.
Garland.
We're back from the lunch break. The Wall Street lunch break just officially ended. Let's go ahead and tune into the WDC event. The WWDC event that Apple's hosting. They're supposed to start here now. We're back from lunch. Let's go ahead and get right into it. See if this thing is working. Hopefully it works, man. Don't do this. So far, the past hour Wall Street lunch break, the market has been holding up, you guys. It's holding up where it needs to be, and that's looking bullish. It's looking good here for more upside here in the future, near future. This is what we're looking at now. But right now, you guys, market's still overall mixed up. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ is leading the indices. The Russell 2000 is still down. The Dow is down still. The VIX is it's up slightly. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. The Apple event is about to kick off in here. We had breaking news during Wall Street lunch break. So it is confirmed Apple's about to reveal its VR headset. So that is about to be a real thing you can be able to purchase here in stores shortly. So we're going to see how fast Apple runs out of that product. And it looks like we're starting. The event has just started, you guys. Let's tune in.
There's no time to wait. So take me to where we belong. There's no time to wait. Just take me to where we belong.
Good morning.
Welcome to WWDC. And welcome to Apple Park for this very special day of announcements about our latest technologies and platforms. We love to see our amazing developers dream up big ideas and bring those ideas to life in the incredible apps they create. It's remarkable to think that this year marks the 15th anniversary of the App Store, which changed everything. Together with the iPhone, developers' apps have helped create entirely new industries, enrich the lives of our users, and change the world. We are committed to providing developers with resources, tools, and opportunities to help them do their amazing work. One of these important resources is our Worldwide Developers Conference. We are excited to kick things off with this morning's announcements. Our teams are continuing to innovate, creating breakthrough experiences for our customers. Driven by the deep integration of hardware, software, and services, these experiences deliver the magic that comes when using our products. It's something only Apple can do. Today, we're going to make some of our biggest announcements ever at WWDC. We'll be talking about the future of our incredible software platforms, as well as introducing some exciting new products. So to get it started, I'd like to hand it over to John to talk about the Mac.
The Mac has been completely transformed by the transition to Apple Silicon, with industry-leading performance, new capabilities, and extraordinary battery life. Apple Silicon has also enabled developers to take their apps further than ever and do things that simply weren't possible before. And its power-efficient performance enables us to create new systems we could only dream of making in the past, like the amazing 13-inch MacBook Air with M2. With its incredible performance, brilliant display, all-day battery life, and striking design, it's our most loved Mac. And it's also the world's best-selling laptop. Well, today, we have even bigger news to share on another product made possible by Apple Silicon. Here it is.
I didn't know this could be so easy.
Big. Introducing the 15-inch MacBook Air. It's the world's best 15-inch laptop. And here's Kate to tell you all about it.
The new Air has everything you could want in a 15-inch laptop. It starts with a design that's astonishingly thin and light, yet feels incredibly solid and durable. It's only 11.5 millimeters thin, making it the world's thinnest 15-inch laptop. And it's easy to carry around at just over 3 pounds. It features MagSafe charging, 2 Thunderbolt ports, and a headphone jack for versatile connectivity. And it comes in 4 gorgeous finishes, including Midnight and Starlight. The Air has a brilliant liquid retina display with an expansive 15.3-inch screen that's surrounded by thin 5mm borders, so you can see even more of your content. And with up to 500 nits of brightness and support for 1 billion colors, everything looks remarkably rich and vibrant. It has a great 1080p camera for video calls, along with a 3-mic array, so you come through loud and clear. And the new Air sounds awesome. With 6 speakers, including force-canceling woofers, it delivers immersive spatial audio. All of this is enabled by the M2 chip, which delivers amazing performance and battery life. In fact, the new Air is 12 times faster than the fastest Intel-based MacBook Air, and it gets an astonishing 18 hours of battery life. So what makes the new Air the world's best 15-inch laptop? Well, 15-inch PC laptops are full of trade-offs between performance, display resolution, battery life, and design. When compared to the best-selling 15-inch PC laptop with a Core i7 processor, MacBook Air is up to twice as fast, and its display is twice the resolution and 25% brighter. Even with better performance and a better display, you still get up to 50% more battery life than on the PC. When it comes to design, the Air is nearly 40% thinner and half a pound lighter than the PC. And its fanless design runs completely silent. With all these great features in the new Air, it's the only 15-inch laptop that has it all. If this is your first Mac, you'll enjoy how easy it is to set up and use. And once you start using it, you'll see how seamlessly it works with iPhone. So you can do things like copy something on your phone and paste it with your Mac using Universal Clipboard, or pick up where you left off on a thread in Messages with Handoff. So that's the new 15-inch MacBook Air. It has an expansive display, the incredible performance of M2, a 6-speaker sound system, and tremendous battery life, all in the world's thinnest 15-inch laptop.
I can't fucking stream this.
Now, back to John.
We're super excited about the all-new 15-inch MacBook Air, the world's best